The situation with Rooster Teeth is only getting worse. And there's still, to my understanding, no news about Ruby Volume 10 even being greenlit yet. It's crazy to think that there's a chance Ruby could actually end the way it is now. As unlikely as that may sound and may seem, it's not a 0% chance that that's the way things end up. We'll just have to see. Anyways, here's the latest. We got news like this. A tweet with over 8,200 likes reads, Rooster Teeth removed most of Camp Camp and Red vs. Blue from YouTube. You can now only watch the series on their website. YouTube revenue, quote, not cutting it anymore for hard and expensive animation was cited by them. It hasn't been received well by the fans. This, of course, follows the recent news of Achievement Hunter officially ending. On October 5th, Rooster Teeth also releasing this official statement. We'll take a look at that, of course. However, public reception, as you can see immediately, is not very good. This tweet, for example, with over 1,000 likes saying, things that ain't it, Chief. This. As well as, thanks but nah. I pay for YouTube Premium so I don't have to deal with the ridiculous amount of ads. Not going to do the same for the exactly one Rooster Teeth show I watch. And I know I can watch it for free, but the ads on the RT site are more frequent than YouTube's. And with over 900 likes, everyone disliked that. The criticism goes on and on. So let's see what RT has to say. As you may have heard, we're changing things up a bit over here at RT. These changes are all about ensuring we can continue to create the content you know and love, as well as new and upcoming projects. Your support means the world to us, and we're so grateful to have you a part of this journey as we grow as a company. It's what makes animation and your favorite shows possible. We couldn't do this without you. So, let's dive into what exactly these updates are and how they're going to help Rooster Teeth soar to new heights.
Hey everybody, my name is Kerry Shawcross. If you don't know me, I'm a showrunner here at Rooster Teeth. Lately, some of you may have noticed that a lot of our big shows like Red vs. Blue and Camp Camp have gone from being on YouTube and our website to just our website. You might be asking yourself, why'd you guys do that? There's an honest answer, and that is YouTube revenue just is not cutting it for us anymore. To give you an example, if you go to our site right now and watch a video for free with an ad, we get approximately 5 to 10 times more value from that ad than we do a watch on YouTube. It just doesn't make sense anymore for us to have our whole back catalog on YouTube. We need you guys to come over our website, still watch it for free. You could sign up for first if you want. We know that that's frustrating for some of you, but it's just the reality of what we need to do. Animation's hard and it's expensive. There are some shows like Ruby that now rely on production partners or distribution companies, but for the most part, our shows rely on you. And that support comes from watching on our website, even if it's for free. And look, if you haven't been to the website in a while, I get it. Go check it out again. It's being updated constantly. I think you're gonna have a better experience than you expect. Becoming a first member is always helpful, and it just shows us, how much you want to support our shows. Those are the things that are going to allow us to make more content that you love, like Red vs. Blue, like Camp Camp, or even new shows. Ultimately, it's about making sure that your support is going as far as it can go. That's how we get to make more cool stuff. Again, thank you all for your support. We really appreciate it. So please come to our website, watch for free, or become a first member if you really want to support us, and thank you.
Reception in the quote tweets is not much better. For example, with 1,301 likes. Got a tweet here that reads, RT making the same stupid mistake GW made by taking their popular animation and dumping it on a website that's terrible and no one uses, instead of enjoying the free advertising it draws in. All the comments, all that history, gone, so RT can squeeze a few more cents. Ghouls. And with over 2,400 likes, we have another tweet. Let's check it out, if I can scroll. Okay, there we go. Straight from the mouths of Rooster Teeth, Red vs. Blue got pulled from YouTube because they are money hungry. Screw the announcement made about RVB being on YouTube, and screw the dedicated RTA channel apparently. Screw your terrible website, and basically saying screw Rooster Teeth. And this tweet with over 690 likes, showing concern for the future of Ruby, essentially asking people to support Ruby X Justice League Part 2 in order to therefore support the future of the show overall. And interesting timing here. I just saw this tag I got from 20 minutes ago, asking my thoughts on this clip. I guess we'll take a look at this. It's 1 minute long and talks about Rooster Teeth having the idea for Ruby X Justice League and apparently not being DC's idea. People are pointing this out because some of the responses defending Rooster Teeth to the criticism of Ruby X Justice League was saying that it was not Rooster Teeth's idea and it was DC's idea. Now, regardless of what this clip says, it is important to note that ultimately the only reason why Rooster Teeth even has to deal with DC is because they willingly sold out to Warner years ago, and DC is a division of Warner Brothers. Meaning, anything that DC or Warner tells Rooster Teeth to do, you can't just defend Rooster Teeth saying, oh, it's not their fault, when to begin with, it is their fault because they're the ones who decided to sell out to Warner. Anyways, let's play the clip.
So let's talk about how did this partnership happen?
Well, we're
we're all kind of like under the same umbrella company. So a while ago, we had this idea to do some crossover comics with Warner Brothers and DC as well. And people liked them, and we liked them, and we thought they were really cool. So eventually, I was talking with some people at our company, including Jeff Yetter, and we all decided, well, what if we just went and said, hey, why don't we also do some animation? And everybody emphatically said yes. And then we went to Warner Brothers, and they said yes, and DC said yes. And it was almost strangely too easy in some ways. And here we are.
It's so cool because also, what a great vote of confidence, because you could have gone to them and said like, oh, we want to do this, and then they could have given you, like a hero to team with, a smaller group, but to give you the Justice League to play with them, that's huge.
It was pretty incredible and also very intimidating.
So the main issue with RWBY Justice League is the fact that the main show's not doing well. Hypothetically, if the main show was doing well in terms of plot, everything, and the fact that, well, hypothetically, let's just say that RWBY Volume 10 was greenlit now. Like, everything about the show is doing well. People like it. Volume 10's being worked on, etc., etc. All that stuff's good. And they also made a DC Justice League, a RWBY Justice League crossover. And even if that wasn't so good, it'd be like, okay, at least the main show's doing well, so whatever. And I personally, as I mentioned in prior segments, I get the vibe, and I have the opinion that RWBY X Justice League is more so a target demographic for kids. It just kind of seems like a kid's cartoon sort of thing. So if you had like the main show doing well, and then you had RWBY X Justice League, which was targeting a younger demographic, okay, that could work. The issue is the main show is not doing well, and there's not even a Volume 10 greenlit right now. So when all that's getting worse and worse and worse news, and then you have all this attention to RWBY X Justice League, which isn't really a great thing in of itself. It's kind of mid. Some people say it's bad. Some people like it, but we'll just say mid for middle of the ground, analysis of that very briefly here. That's the problem. That time and attention people would rather see put on RWBY Volume 10. And of course, you can make arguments like, oh, it's not the same team, blah, 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 blah. Okay, people don't care. They can make it happen in some way, and they're not. The backlash for all the recent Rooster Teeth news is so bad that there's apparently even a new rule over on the Rooster Teeth subreddit. One of the top posts saying, I don't like this rule, adding, hello, I just joined because I wanted to share an old podcast clip, but I noticed one of the rules here is no commenting on how Rooster Teeth is changing. This really struck me. As fans on the subreddit, shouldn't we be able to freely discuss RT content? If I ran the company, woohoo, I would implore the audience to give me any authentic feedback so I could see what works. Do you guys disagree? The new rule they're talking about is apparently Rule 6, which reads, do not come here to complain about how RT is dead. We don't care if you've been watching for 10 weeks or 10 years. We don't care if you've watched every piece of content in existence or if you haven't watched RT in years. If you're coming here to complain about RT changing, then go somewhere else. You are not welcome here if you are here to complain. It's very interesting that they even made this rule to begin with, because for a long time, as I've pointed out in prior segments, you probably hear me say this if you've tuned in to other RT segments I've made, but alas, I've said how the RT subreddit for a long time was full of white knights, and if you had any sort of negative post, even if it was extremely reasonable criticism, you'd most likely get massively downvoted and potentially even send a lot of hate. Now, that has been changing over the years somewhat, but especially recently as things have been collapsing quicker and quicker for RT. And so there has been a lot of criticism for RT, especially over the recent news with changes as things have been pulled off YouTube, etc., etc., etc. And so the RT subreddit was starting to become less of a hive mind and less of a place full of white knights and more of an actual very diversified discussion. However, it seems some people, including the mod team, or at least part of the mod team, don't like that and want to go back to the way things were before, with it being full of white knights and no one being allowed to talk about anything even reasonably critical of RT. Making it more interesting even is the fact that such a pro-censorship stance has been the approach of the official RWBY subreddit for years, which only resulted in stifling discussions there and causing division in the fandom, so much so that other subreddits were made specifically for parts of the RWBY community that didn't like all the censorship happening over on the main subreddit. And of course, as you surely know, RWBY has been on the receiving end of immense and justified criticism, so the censorship on the main subreddit hasn't helped the show at all. It only further fractured the already splitting fandom. So with the RT subreddit taking an official stance reinforcing such censorship similar to the RWBY one, well, it may result in less negative posts on the subreddit itself, which some of the Redditors may like. However, the larger RT community will likely only feel more fractured and divided as a result. Despite things crumbling around Rooster Teeth, some fans still see a shred of good news. For example, this post saying most viewed video in 4 months, and talking about the RT channel Let's Play, and well, as the title says, a video that apparently has the most views in 4 months. You can see that video here from 3 days ago with 146,000 views. Scrolling a little bit, you can just compare that at a glance to some of the views of their prior videos. Comments saying things like 4 friends hanging out and having fun playing games. This is the classic Let's Play vibe I've missed. So despite all the seemingly negative changes and negative news, negative reception, there is a shred of returning to form, leaving some RT fans with, as mentioned, a little bit of optimism. Of course, there's still some concern. For example, this comment saying it's too early to call it after one video, but if this is a sign of what's to come, then I'm all in. This is shaping up to have been the best decision for this channel in years. There's also the question of, is it enough? If Let's Play does move forward in a more positive light, is that going to be enough to help what else is crumbling around Rooster Teeth? And with so many fans disliking the recent changes, and over the years so many RT fans having permanently left the community and never wanting to support RT again, I guess we'll just have to see how this all plays out. But that's the news. Thank you for tuning in. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll see you there, and of course in the next segment.